Freedom Radio Hour. Live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Freedom Radio Hour. I'm your host, DJ Adam Cruz, and I'm sitting next to my fantastic co-host,
Eddie Nicholas. What up, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Freedom Radio Hour, 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan. Adam, what is going on today, sir?
Well, I'm so happy to see you, first of all.
Yes, of course.
Let me take a moment to let our listeners and our viewers know that the Freedom Radio Hour is here not only giving you fantastic music, but we're here to be your number one source for music business news and trends from around the globe. And take a moment to like us, comment, share everything that we post in terms of our videos, subscribe to everything we put out there, and thank you so much for joining us. Let's jump right in. We need to take...
jump.
Did you have your passport? I meant to ask you. Did you bring it?
No, I did not.
Well, lucky for you, we don't have to move anywhere but in our minds, because right now we're going to let's go out to India.
Oh, what's happening in India?
Well, I guess we got to go back to late winter, early spring of this year for a little bit of the Indian tea that I'm about to give you. So basically Spotify, one of the world's largest streaming services.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What they basically are trying to do is take over the planet. They want their streaming service to be available every which way but the moon.
Pinky in the braid, baby.
Listen, where are we going to go today? So basically what Spotify had to do, they started to make their little plans because they want to launch Spotify in India. India is very, very interesting.
With what, more than a billion plus people?
So check it, you're very good. There are 1.3 billion people in India. They have 5 languages, including Bengali and Telugu and a bunch of others, and they have like over a dozen dialects. So what Spotify did to try to attract users is to make sure that when you signed up for Spotify in India, you had the freemium, which is that free and then to pay, but you also could choose between languages and some dialects. So for 1.3 billion people, that's a great feature to have. Right? But of course, when you're going to launch in another country, you have hurdles because if you're Spotify, you have to get the okay from the labels that put the music on your service. So we're talking about our 3 largest record labels. So that is Sony, UMG, Universal Music Group, and Warner Music Group. Okay? So
the greedy empires. Go ahead.
So in the late winter and early spring of this year, basically you had Spotify starting to send out little hints and announcements saying, hey, Spotify's about to launch in India, everybody. We're about to launch in India, everybody. And then, of course, reporters are going, oh, really? Do you have the backing of the 3 labels? Yeah, we got the backing of them, of course. To which Warner Music Group says, no, they don't. They don't have our okay. Yes, we've been in talks, but we don't have an okay from them.
But doesn't Warner have a subsidiary already in India?
Well, when it relates to this, they have to have another deal signed.
Oh, okay.
So if Spotify has a deal with Warner in the States and Europe and other parts of the world, it may not have that deal in
India.
Asia.
Okay, Asia. Okay, because now we're talking about the continents of Asia.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Warner says, slow your roll, Spotify. You don't have a deal with us. To which Spotify says, well, slow your roll. Because actually we have a thing called a statutory license for TV and radio broadcasters. We could use that to encompass your content over the internet through these streaming services. Warner Music Group said, oh, really now? They hit up the Indian courts and they put an injunction to stop Spotify.
I told you, the wicked empires,
See? So Spotify's like, I really care with these folks. So
well, they have
because Warner was saying, look, we've been in talks, so it's not like out of the blue we just decided to do this.
Anything.
We hadn't confirmed anything. We're not feeling their argument that they're going to use the statutory license. We're not okaying that. And so eventually the court system said, no, you're not stopping anything. Because you have a deal with them, which includes their ability to blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know... So
the courts in India with Spotify.
Spotify launches. Yep. Spotify launches, and basically you have this amazing thing that's happened. They've had millions of users signed up already. The folks are loving this language and dialects
because
feature.
They have accessibility.
So check it. So Apple Music, their competitor out in India, charges their users the equivalent of roughly $1.67 a month to access all that. So part of Warner's argument, which I tend to agree with, is, look, man, reason why we don't want you to assert the statutory license argument, Spotify, is because it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a penny per stream.
And how dare they feel that it's a fraction of a penny per stream? Welcome to the world of the artists.
And so
the nerve!
And so the industry says, wait a minute, but doing all this, Warner, we understand where you're coming from, but you might kind of mess it up for the rest of us that have already okayed the deal, because now the service launched with millions of songs not available because they didn't get the rights. So while Spotify is enjoying this bump up, we're not sure whether it'll sustain itself in India because they don't have the backing of the other third. Remember, we're talking the three giant labels. The third is saying we're out, and when you remove that third,
well, who's the bigger of the three?
Well, whatever it is, it's going to be a losing argument in the long term. Let's take a break. We're going to talk more music business news right here on the Freedom Radio Hour, and especially we want to talk about a couple of things. We want to talk about Amazon and what they're doing to try to take more of your money.
See.
And we got to talk about the biggest problem, and I think you artists, if you're out there, you need to know about it. It's called metadata. Right here, where?
91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan.
From author and music industry leader Adam Cruz, check out the new book, Free the Music Business, Tips and Tales from an Indie Music Nerd. Available now on paperback, Kindle, audiobook, and soundtrack, courtesy of Mixtape Sessions.
Freedom Radio Hour. Live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM.
What up, beautiful people? Eddie Nicholas here. Welcome back to 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan, the Freedom Radio Hour, y'all. I'm sitting up here with my good buddy and co-host, and you know, the so knowledgeable, the one and only Mr. Who?
Adam Cruz. Thank you for joining us again right here on the Freedom Radio Hour, your number one source for music business news and trends from around the globe. Thanks for subscribing and for liking and sharing all of our content. We're live on Capital Radio, 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan. All right, let's jump right back into it, Mr.
Jump
Nicholas.
into it.
So we got to talk about Amazon. You know, Amazon is becoming quite the juggernaut in terms of fulfillment. You know, when you click an order, they ship it to you like the
very next day.
That's fulfillment, right? But they also have taken quite a bit out of the digital market in terms of original content. They're trying to be their own HBO, Showtime, and all that. Hulu. So now you can subscribe to Amazon.
All in one
Prime.
shopping.
Right. All in one shopping. Very, that was beautifully said. So Amazon, not trying to be outdone in any which way, has now jumped into the HD market. What do I mean? Well, they have this thing called Amazon Echo. Looks like this.
Yes.
My family has it. They love it. My kids are obsessed with asking Miss Alexa for all kinds of stuff. They want her to play songs. They want her to ask the weather. They want her to play what's 1 + 1, what's 2 +. They want to know all that. And she'll answer most of your questions. But this has broadened Amazon's thinking. And so they're taking a cue, I think, from Tidal. You know, Tidal is another streaming service that prides itself on that HD, that high definition sound. And you and I always laugh at that because why? Because we have phones, and most of us listen to our music through these little itty bitty speakers or through our earbuds, right? And we're not really caring much about quality like that. Well, Amazon begs to differ with the two of us. So what they've done is they launched Amazon HD. And what they're trying to do now is for an added few dollars, so now $12.99 a month is versus $9.99 a month, you can get high fidelity audio streaming just like Tidal. So it's basically coming after Tidal right at the knee, right at their main core of their business.
And so what does that do for my phone use?
Well, what it does is a few things. They're after this, so they want more people to buy their ecosystem, right? So if you get that ecosystem, you're going to get that HT quality thing with it.
Okay.
You see how they're doing it? They're packaging
it all together.
All together. So what does that mean for you and I? Well, first of all, for Amazon, it's easy. It's an easy business. I think it's smart for them because the content that when you deliver content out to all these sites, you're sending them the high definition version, and then they break it down from there. MP3s, you know, are not as high quality as say a WAV file. So they already have that system, and all they have to do is re-deliver it and that high quality content, and we'll be right there. Boom. They don't. It's like right there, instant money. So it doesn't hurt them. But by pairing it, remember we often talk about pairing it. When you put out something, if you're an artist and you put out music, you need to pair it with something. Maybe you start a tour. Maybe you have an event that day, the day of the release. Maybe it's in conjunction with your birthday or a holiday, anything, right? What Amazon is doing is pairing that HD with this ecosystem, because they really are after this. They get a lot of money from this. But you or I get still this fraction of a penny per stream, because like the others, Amazon is saying, okay, we want to do this HD thing, but you can pay a little bit or a lot, depending on your access level. And so you or I as artists are continuing this never-ending fight for this fraction of a stream. So now when we go back to the India story from last segment, consider what we're doing here. So if India, Apple Music is charging them $1.67 a month. That's not even $2 a month.
No.
So here in the US, we're paying $10 a month for Apple Music, right? So I'm saying we're getting the tiniest bit as they widen out. And so companies like Amazon and others tend to make a lot of money from these products, these physical goods that I'm holding up right here, like the ecosystem.
Just by the people physically being able to purchase.
Exactly.
The number of bodies.
Right. So, but it's at the cost of us artists. That's the point of what I'm trying to
It will
say.
always
because
be.
they can't do it without music, so they need us to continue feeding content to their system, right? But they're gonna take our content and then broaden out to make billions of dollars off physical goods like an ecosystem or Apple Music. In their case, it's the iPhone, you know, and there's gonna be others, you know, there's a lot to be said for TV, electronics, monitors in the future. They're all gonna be putting out products like that because they want you to buy their physical goods. And as a added bonus for doing that, you'll get the music.
And again, you know, people look at the concept of smart TVs. They've been around for a while.
Right.
And the ability to transfer from your phone to your TV has been around for a while.
Exactly.
Now that because it's been custom installed in a lot of your things, and these companies such as Amazon and Apple are learning to capitalize all of that type of stuff to make it more compact, to make it more accessible for us human beings.
Exactly.
The consumers.
And don't be surprised if, just like Tidal, Amazon will start launching original concerts. They're gonna start launching
I thought they did already.
Well, original podcasts with Lizzo and Beyonce and all those artists. They're all gonna be involved in some way because that's the value added nature of the business right there.
And they're getting all that money to do all of that stuff from us, the consumers.
And us, the music creators.
From us, the music creators.
If you're an artist, you need to continue feeding that machine. And so it makes that possible for them to sell X of billions of dollars worth of ecosystems or iPhones or whatever it is.
So keep your ear to the ground. And if you hear anything about any openings and being invited to sit at any of these tables, where you can help make decisions and discuss things and buy a little bit of what do you call it? Profit shares, a little bit of shares.
Because my question is this, and I don't have the answer. It's really rhetorical, which is, while they continue selling these products and making billions of dollars, I'm talking about the ecosystem and the iPhone, how come the artists don't get universal basic income? In other words, you know, right now the politicians are touting this as a way in which people can make money. Some candidates say that they're offering UBI, universal basic income, $1,000 a month, because companies like Amazon and the others reap the rewards of our country without paying a tax. So you should pay the citizens an income. There's precedence for it. It's not unprecedented. But anyway, I wonder if that could be related to music. In other words, because Apple Music has sold X amount of dollars worth of iPhones, how much of that can come back to the artist? Because without us artists, you wouldn't have an iPhone to sell because there'd be no content in it.
Exactly. And part of the content that you constantly tout with these phones is the music accessibility.
Exactly. Let's take another break. When we come back, let's discuss more of this music business news right here. Where?
91.6 FM, the Freedom Radio Hour, the Heartbeat of Sudan.
From author and music industry leader Adam Cruz, check out the new book, Free the Music Business, Tips and Tales from an Indie Music Nerd, available now on paperback, Kindle, audiobook and soundtrack, courtesy of Mixtape Sessions.
All 91.6
Freedom Radio Hour.
And we're back live on Capital Radio, 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan. You're deep in the zone right here on the Freedom Radio Hour, your number one source for music, business news, and trends from around the globe. I'm sitting here next to my fantastic partner,
Eddie Nicholas. What up, beautiful people, and welcome back as we continue on with our discussion of what is going on in this crazy thing we call music.
I know. I need to pull up my phone for this particular stat because I'm trying to get you accurate information. But we need to talk about one of an article that came out on The Verge that really I couldn't agree with more. They're saying, you want to talk about the biggest problem? Yes. This fraction of a penny per stream is a plaguing issue. We need to fight for not more of the dollar, because that's not really going to happen, folks. Let's be honest. The better fight, I argue, is to get some sort of profit sharing, some sort of universal basic income for artists from Apple Music, Amazon, and the Spotify's of the world. That would be, to me, a good case for advocacy, advocating for more income that way, because I think to quibble over not even a full cent is really silly.
Like you said, send me a check for $1,000 for the year.
For whatever, just
for whatever.
I feel like we have to have a
From
better
your company.
system. But one of the article on The Verge that I want to talk about right now, for you artists, if you're an artist, a DJ, a producer, a spoken word songwriter, whatever you're doing that puts content out there with your information on it, I'm talking about songs right now, you need to think about what's called metadata. This article talks about the biggest issue plaguing the music industry is the problem with metadata. What are we talking about? And every time you put a song
Spell that out.
Yeah, meta, M-E-T-A.
Okay.
Like Tony, M-E-T-A, data. Metadata is a fancy word, a real techie word for all the information that lies within each song file. That says Eddie Nicholas as the artist. The song is Shake.
Is that something like magnetized something, magnetized digital something?
Oh, you think it's like an acronym?
You know, like magnetized
I'm sure.
something.
That's funny. I bet you Meta is an acronym for something.
For something, because when you're thinking of meta, I'm thinking about, like you said, stuff is suspended all in between, and anything that pops up with your name and has your imprint in it, like you make money or something like that, it's embedded in the DNA of the meta.
Yeah, so this is basically that. It's like the tattoo, the watermarking.
The watermarking.
That consists inside the audio file. It also includes, so I said the artist, the title, the album artist, because sometimes that might be different from who's singing on the actual song. The website, the ISRC code, that's that international standard recording code. It's basically, like I said, like a tattoo or a watermark that you put in. And those digits trace back to you if you are the person putting out that song or the label putting out the song. Okay, so who am I talking to right now? I'm talking specifically to you dance music artists. If you're putting out content on TrackSource, on your own, through Bandcamp or iTunes, whatever you're doing, Beatport, I want you to make sure that you work with the label putting it out, or if you're the person putting it out, you ensure that all of the data that's within your audio files are completely filled out. That's the issue they're talking about in this article that I'm referencing. Which is basically saying that a lot of this information is blank. So when it comes to paying people,
they don't know who to
pay. This is why we have the start of the MPL, that mechanical license board or whatever they're doing. That collective is trying to find a way to pay you if you're the artist, but they go to the metadata. So that's the first thing they do. They go and check that music, that file, and say, okay, where does it say, who is this person? And if it's Eddie Nicholas is not appearing as an artist name, I'm just using you obviously as an example, they don't know who to pay. And so when you see a new release on TrackSource and you scroll down and you don't see credits, liner notes, a description, information about published by, written by, all of that right there, there's a good chance that the song file within it doesn't contain that information as well. Either.
So it may stand for mechanical.
What are you talking about?
When we go back to the meta.
Oh, yeah.
It may be mechanical.
No, I think it's. I don't think it's mechanical, but it's basically dealing with the data.
The mechanics of it, the data collected.
Yeah. Oh, there was a rumor a while that it stood for most effective tactic available, but no, it doesn't mean that at all. Yeah, it doesn't say that it's an acronym for
You know,
anything.
as we sit back and we discuss these things, you know, I think of the movie 2001: Space Odyssey.
Okay,
And, you
why?
know, and all of those things. When it comes to things like Miss Alexa and
Metadata.
and all, you know, just data. When you think about it, the 1984s and the 2001s that these people spoke of, they are truly definitely here.
Exactly.
And when we go back and we see so many things, we can see things where history is starting to repeat itself in many of the aspects. But
Many times, as they say, if past is prologue, that means if the past is an indicator of what's going to happen, it'll repeat itself, which is exactly what's happening.
And on that, you know, we better watch out. We're talking about, you know, they need us to make music. They need artists. They need vocalists. With everything being created so superficially, the voices are being recreated. Sound is being recreated. Please, you know, we got to be tactful and mindful and always moving forward in creative, because our voices can't be taken away.
No, I agree. I think that's all the time we have for today. Definitely make it your business to check out freedomradiohour.com, check out eddienicholas.com, check out djadamcruz.com, and leave a comment, share, like, subscribe to everything we've got out there. We have an app. Download our app. Search out Freedom Radio Hour. We appreciate everything you've got to say, so let us know what you think and spread the word.
Spread it.
Thank you so much for
Like
tuning in.
peanut
Adam
butter.
Cruz.
Eddie Nicholas, 91.6 FM, the heartbeat of Sudan. Peace, love, soul, and a little bit of hair grease on the side. Peace out.
Later, y'all.